Hey guys, welcome back to the JPM Performance channel. It is time for our first real shop tour of 2023. You can see I'm wearing my actual uniform this week rather than street clothes. So this is our first full week. Here we are. I guess the last week was a full week too, but here we are, Thursday the 12th. I still don't have my fancy calendar yet, but I'm sure it's coming. It'll be here sooner rather than later, I think. So let's get right into our shop tour. We've got some new things in the shop this week. So first of all, on the bench here, you can see we've got a clean block, clean cylinder head, crankshaft. We've got some pistons. These are obviously not the style of pistons that you normally see around my shop. That's because this is a spec Miata. When you run a spec Miata, you have to run Mazda factory pistons. So this is for the Manises for their spec Miata. And so getting ready to get everything cleaned up, get this together. As you know, I don't do a lot of spec Miata engines, but we're looking good. All the machining worked out well. No worries. One thing I wanted to show you guys here on a block. So this is the B18C engine that we're getting ready to do for Mike Taylor. This is the block he was hoping I was going to be able to use, but once I took it apart, if you get a good look here, you can see that there is a major defect in the block from what would appear to be a connecting rod that came loose at some point. Right here is where the liner in the aluminum block meets the aluminum, and you can see that that is compromised drastically. So this block is now scrap metal. So this is one of the things that that Mike was wanting me to do, is kind of inspect his engines, all of his bits and pieces, build something that's really good. So we've got a bunch of bits and pieces ordered for the engine. I'm going to need another block. He does not want to use this one because this is one of the rare C1 blocks. So this block is going to end up going back to him. So he's supposed to be sending me another block. In the meantime, we got an old friend back in the shop, guys. This car is a car that I built back in 2017 for Bob Shader. T3 370Z, and the car has come home. And a fellow, initially the car went up to Washington State, and then it went to Minneapolis. And believe it or not, Bob is wanting to get back into racing again, and we decided that we wanted to do another Z car, and lo and behold, this car was available. So what better car to buy than the one we already built? And the gentleman from Minneapolis has only put a few weekends on it since he bought it in 2017. And so we're going to do our upgrades for the current T3 rules and get this car back out on track. And I'll tell you, the car is just beautiful. I mean, it's still in really, really good shape. Obviously need to get it up on the rack and do some fluid changes and check everything over. But it looks really, really good. I've always enjoyed these cars. They're built really well. The engines are super tough, make good power for T3. So this is a new project that's actually going to be staying here. And then actually Joe Smith is going to be doing the transportation and the track support for the car. So I'll do the prep. Joe can do the at-the-track work. Teamwork makes the dream work, right? So next on the docket, I'm actually going to do a mini postpone on the spec Miata engine because I need to get this car out of here. It's been sitting here long enough. So Mark Webber's new chassis, here we are in January. Let's get this thing done. I'm going to get the roll cage done, jump on it here this afternoon, see if we can get this cage put together and all the bits and pieces finalized so that this car can go off to get powder coated, because I need a little more room in the shop. Even though I gained some room in the shop over the last couple of weeks, I still have a lot of cars coming in. Still need to work on Doug's. And Jake, if you're watching, you're going to be happy to know that not only is your engine out of the car, it is also completely disassembled and in process. So Jake here actually had a really good season last year with what I consider to be a pretty old engine. The engine was about 4 years old. Doing all sorts of updates. We should be able to get some more horsepower out of it with some of the things I've learned over the last few years, of course, with our new piston design and a few extra changes I've made in the cylinder head. So rocking and rolling here on Jake's project. In the meantime, I need to shuffle all of the Z-Car bits and pieces. They're going to go up onto this shelf over here, and I think the Z-Car, since it's going to be living here, is probably going to go in this area here. So I'm still kind of working on how I want to organize the new shop. I'm going to call it a new shop anyway. So in the meantime, over here in the BMW station, you can see that it is completely together, 100% all together. Actually ran it this morning. So one little thing I wanted to talk about, full disclosure for any of you that have kind of been following some of the shenanigans that have happened to me over the last couple of years in this car. Showed up at the Runoffs this year, and our good buddy that tried to dink me with the intake manifold last year was making noises about how this little box here was not on my intake manifold. So what this little box does is there's a little valve that goes in right inside here, and it opens up a door. And what that does is that's going to split the manifold in half, so you've got your front three and your back three. I did not have this box on there, although, once again, he's trying to get me at the Runoffs. If you got a problem with what I'm doing, just tell me up front, you know, during the year. I'm not trying to cheat. I'm just trying to maximize my performance. But here's the thing. Since I never tested this box, now I'm going to. So look at this little deal I came up with for testing on the dyno. I actually drilled through the little actuator arm, and I'm going to be able to pull this and open up that valve and close the valve and see what works the best. So thanks for your help. It's now on the intake manifold, and I'm going to figure out what's going to make it even better. So no, I'm not going to have to hold it like this. I'll probably just use a little miniature ratchet strap to hold it back here while I'm doing my testing. But if it does work, I will enable the solenoid, and it's perfectly legal. Now, in full disclosure, yes, I believe that this little black box should have been on the intake manifold. Does it make a big difference? Probably about as much difference as the intake manifold itself made, which is nada. So, car's looking good. Prep is coming right along. Here we are in January. I always get re-enthused with kind of getting the car ready to go. So, looking really good. Going to do some more cleaning. Going to make a little seat adjustment. Got the battery charging. Brakes are already done. Kind of reorganizing over here so I can get reacclimated with my new spot. But yeah, we're looking good. So getting ready for the race season. So there are a bunch of people down in Sebring this weekend. Good luck to everybody that's down there. The other thing I wanted to make mention of is that we're now going to be releasing these shop tours on Thursdays still, but they're going to be coming out at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. So for some of you, maybe that's a good thing. If you're getting ready to go to work and you live in the middle of the United States, 7 a.m. If you're on the East Coast, it's 8 a.m. If you're on the West Coast, you can wait or get up early, whatever suits you. But going to be releasing these first thing in the morning on Thursdays. But wanted to wish everybody good luck down in Sebring. Looks like they've got a really big entry for this weekend, especially in Spec Miata. It's like 90-something Spec Miatas, so I'm sure that'll be nice and clean. We'll see what happens. But check out the new footage that SCCA is putting up. If you go on to YouTube, obviously, if you're watching this, you're on YouTube. Go to SCCA's, I think it's called SCCA Official. They're going to be doing a whole new live video with not just static cameras, but actual footage, talking about the races. It's going to be, I think it's going to be a lot more detail-oriented. I'm sure they're still going to be doing live timing just like always, but check that out. This weekend is going to be the first time at Sebring. They're doing a slightly different schedule where you're going to have 2 days of qualifying on Friday, and then I think there might be a couple classes that qualify Saturday morning, but basically it's going to be races all day Saturday and all day Sunday. The reason that they're doing this is because they're adding a group to try and split up some of these large groups that have a tendency to not be able to run clean and green to checker, you know, the whole initiative that they've got going on. So hopefully that gives people better track time. So we'll see. Another good idea from SCCA, I think. So that's where we're at, guys. Hope you've had a good first week of January, and we are going to get right into it. We're just going to keep pounding out. Hopefully Mark Webber's car is not even here next week for the shop tour, because I'm hoping to get it finished, the cage done, and get it off to powder coating so that I can actually bring Mike Froh's car in, because Mike Froh's engine is also a part just like Jake's. So lots going on, as it should be in January. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great rest of your week, and good luck racing if you guys are heading down to Florida this weekend. Take care.